All right, court is calling 2022 CR 11862, State of Texas versus Alexander Castro. Can I have parties announced for the record, please, for the state
Danny Westmore and Jason Garahan for the state.
and for the defense?
Gary Hillier and Jasmine Olguin for Mr. Castro.
And are you Mr. Castro?
Mr. Castro.
All right. Is there anything anyone wanted to discuss before the jury's brought in?
Very briefly, Judge, if
Yes.
you may. Your Honor, I just wanted to, I think we might have done it yesterday, but it was a long day. Just want to make sure for the purpose of protecting the record that my running objection to the makeup of the jury panel is overruled for the rest of the trial. I don't have to make it again.
Oh, well, the record will reflect what it reflects, counsel.
Oh, okay, Judge. Well, in that case, then I'll better do it again. I just want to make sure that the record shows that we object to the panel as seated, because for the reason stated yesterday, juror number 20, panel member number 24, I tried to strike her for cause because she's a clerk in this court and she'd seen documents in this case which we believe is improper. She was not struck for cause and we had to use a peremptory strike on her. I asked for an extra peremptory, which the court denied. And then we had to strike another juror who made it. Well, we didn't get to strike a juror who made it onto the panel. I believe that was juror number 31. And the reason we would have struck him was because he was involved in a rear end accident where he was injured and his mother was injured. And that's why. And so we just would like a record to reflect we want to run an objection to the panel so I don't have to make it again, please, Your Honor.
Okay. I mean, the record is what it is.
I've made
Yes.
it. So I think, is it,
All right.
Judge, can I have a ruling on that, please, just for the record?
What I previously ruled. Yes, I previously ruled on it, counsel.
Right.
But what I can tell you is that both the state and defense agreed that the panel member that you had an objection to, the items that panel member would have seen was the indictment. The indictment is going to be read to the jury. The other item that the panel member may have seen was the fact that your client is on bond. And usually counsels who are representing clients, what they don't want someone to know is that their client is in custody.
That's correct, Judge. They have
All right.
documents she'd seen. Yeah, don't disagree with
All right, see, you say that in other documents, but both parties agreed that she had seen perhaps two documents, the fact that he was on bond and the fact that she's seen an indictment in this case and that she's only been in this court since May. So we're going to bring the jurors in.
And the last thing is, Your Honor, we're going to invoke the rule after opening and
Just invoke it.
yeah, okay, Judge, we invoke the rule then, Your Honor, and we just do want to check with the state that we are, I don't know what order they're bringing their witnesses in, Judge, so that we don't have to, so I'm not disturbing the court's flow of trial. If Officer Morgan is first, if he's coming, I don't know. We would like a Jackson versus Dano hearing outside the presence with him. When Detective Martinez comes.
All right, so this is what we'll do. The state is going to call their witnesses. And then guess what? If either one of you all need the jury to step outside because we need to have a hearing, just approach, just tell me, Judge, may we approach?
Go ahead, Judge.
And I will know that means that you all want the jury to be excused. I will excuse them and we will have the hearing.
I can do that, Judge.
All right.
Judge. Thank you.
All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All right, for the jury. Have a seat.
All right, everyone, please be seated. I hope that everyone was able to find a parking space in the parking garage. All right, and remember my previous instructions, if you ever need a break, just do the break sign and we will see it. And also, if you're ever having trouble where you can't hear what a witnesses are saying or the questions that are being asked, just raise your hand and let us know because both parties want you to be able to hear everything, all right? So y'all were given an oath downstairs and that was a general oath, but I need to give you an oath for this specific case. So if each of you will raise your right hand for me, please. Do each of you solemnly swear and affirm in the case of the state versus Alexander Castro, you will a true verdict render according to the law and evidence, so help you God? Yes. All right, you can lower your hand. State.
Yes, Your Honor. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Bear County, state of Texas, duly organized and paneled and sworn as such at November term AD 2022 of the 175th District Court of said county and said court at said term, do present in and to said court that in the county and state aforesaid and inferior to the presentment of this indictment, on or about the 22nd day of July 2022, Alexander Castro did recklessly cause the death of an individual, namely Alexandria Seibert, hereinafter referred to as the plaintiff, by driving and operating a motor vehicle at a speed that was not reasonable and prudent under the circumstances then existing, failing to keep a proper lookout, failing to apply brakes in a timely manner, failing to take a proper and necessary evasive action to avoid colliding with another motor vehicle, failing to maintain a proper following distance, operating a motor vehicle after consuming alcohol, operating a motor vehicle while impaired by reason of the introduction of alcohol into the body, and it said acts and omissions resulted in the motor vehicle driven and operated by the defendant colliding into a motor vehicle occupied by the department. Deadly weapon allegation, and it is further presented into said court that the defendant did use and exhibit a deadly weapon, to wit, a motor vehicle that in the manner of use and intended use is capable of causing death and serious bodily injury during the commission of this offense against the peace and dignity of the state. Signed, jury, the foreman of the grand jury.
To that, how do you plead?
Not guilty.
All right, thank you. State, do you have any opening statements?
Yes.
All right, you may proceed.
On July 22nd of 2022, Alexandria Seibert was heading home. She had just spent the day with her boyfriend, Josh. They went golfing, they went out to dinner, they went back to Josh's apartment and watched a movie. Her home was her parents' house. In order to get there, she had to go north on 281. While she was on 281, she ran into traffic. Traffic as far as the eye could see. You're going to hear from Officer Morgan. He's a 3-year San Antonio Police Department officer. He was responding to the cause of the traffic. It was a car crash that happened further north on 281. Now, while responding to this car crash, Officer Morgan was notified of another car crash. It happened further south on 281. He was in his patrol vehicle, he got out, and he started walking over. But then he started running because he saw several cars that were very damaged. He ended up talking to 2 of the drivers of those damaged cars. One of those drivers was the defendant, Alexander Castro. Now, while talking to the defendant, Officer Morgan noticed a 3rd vehicle that had been heavily damaged. It was a little further south. He ran. Inside that car was Alexandra Seibert. She was unconscious. She had an open head wound. She was bleeding heavily. She never woke up from that. EMS came and took her to University Hospital, and Officer Morgan began his part of the investigation. Now, Officer Morgan's a patrol officer. Whenever there's a potentially fatal crash, patrol officers have to call SAPD's Traffic Investigation Division. They're the experts when it comes to car crashes. They can recreate, they can figure out how this happened. Officer Morgan didn't have any eyewitnesses who could directly say exactly what happened. So all of the drivers that were involved were kept at the scene so that they can talk to TID. But Officer Morgan made a mistake. TID told him to follow up. He didn't. While conducting his investigation, he spoke with the defendant several times. You're going to hear that. He asked why things happened. You're going to hear what the defendant had to say. TID eventually realized that there was no follow-up. So several hours after, they made the scene, spoke to the drivers, and began their investigation. You're going to hear from several of the witnesses, several of the people who were on the highway when this happened. They did not see what happened. One of the witnesses was involved his car was half crushed in due to the defendant's car hitting him at a high speed. You're going to hear from several 911 callers who saw the traffic, who saw the long line, and decided to exit because that's how far away you could see this. They had enough time to exit. One of the 911 callers saw the defendant's vehicle speed down 281, approaching all the cars that were waiting there in traffic. He didn't see the accident. He saw the debris fly in the air. He heard the actual crash. You're going to hear from now Sergeant Martinez. She was a detective at the time with TID. She was the primary detective that was investigating this case. She looked at the roadway evidence. She looked at data from both Alexandra's car and the defendant's car. And she was able to calculate and figure out exactly how fast the defendant was going. He was going over 90 miles per hour. He never hit his brakes. He never made any attempt to avoid any of the cars that were so vulnerable there. State's asking you to listen to the evidence. Just think about what we're presenting. Officer Morgan was disciplined for what happened, for not following up. He was also disciplined for not further investigating. And you'll hear from him why that happened, what happened there. But don't let that failure on Officer Morgan's part cloud you and how reckless the defendant's actions were. So the state's asking you again to listen and to judge how reckless his actions were that night.
Defense, any opening statements?
Oh, ma'am, see.
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Oh, yeah. You guys want to see that? You want me to see that?
No. Okay. And state and all attorneys, please feel free to move about the courtroom if you are unable to view an item.
Thank you, Judge. This case is a tragedy. It's a tragedy. We have to acknowledge that up front. It is a tragedy. And Alexandra Saber lost her life as a result of this tragedy. But this tragedy is not a crime. And I'm going to tell you why it's not a crime. And I can agree with some things that Mr. Escobar said, but I disagree with others. I'm going to tell you the whole story about what happened that night. Because I tell you what, I didn't mention that name. Shayna Alassal. You're not going to hear her come as a witness. No criminal case filed against her. But Shayna Alassal is the first domino that caused this chain reaction where Alex drove into a scene of a crash. Shayna Alassal, you're going to see, evidence is going to show that Shayna Alassal argued with her husband. Shayna Alassal drank. Shayna Alassal drove the wrong way on Highway 281. She drove the wrong way up the exit ramp on 281 and had a collision with a vehicle. Shayna Alassal was driving the wrong way on the highway. But for the conduct of Shayna Alassal, the truth is, but for the conduct of Shayna Alassal, Alexandra Siebert wouldn't have been sitting on the highway, parked in that long line of traffic that Mr. Escobar talked about. Alexandra Siebert would still be here. She wouldn't have been sitting in the traffic, but for the conduct of Shayna Alassal. Now, she's not here. She wasn't arrested. Shayna Alassal was driven home to meet her husband that she'd argued with by the police. And I hope she's watching today. I hope she's watching and listening to this, because she's not here to answer for what she did that put that man in the chair there, where the state is trying to convict him of killing somebody. Now, was he driving too fast? Yes, but he was driving too fast on the right way, going the right way down the highway. So that's the first thing. The state talked about causation in the PowerPoint, in the voir dire. They said, but for the conduct of him. That's what they have to prove, but for the conduct of him, Alex. Miss Seibert would still be alive, but it's but for the conduct of her. But it's not just her. We're not just blaming Shayna Alassal, even though she did get drunk, drive the wrong way on the highway, have a collision, then get driven home by the police. Mr. Escobar talked about the police. Now they do a difficult job. I used to be a police officer. Dealing with a scene like that is difficult, but they have got a responsibility. The police officers at the scene are the second domino in this chain of events that leads to the unfortunate death of Miss Seibert, because they've got a duty to protect. They've got a duty to warn. And like Mr. Escobar said, they were on scene for approximately, the evidence is going to show, the officers were on the scene for 22 minutes before there was another accident. On the highway, they put out no flares. Everybody's seen an accident on the highway where the police put out flares. They didn't put a police vehicle in the way. They didn't call one of their buddies on the radio to say, hey man, can you go and protect the scene? There's some flashing lights so people don't crash into them. Any of that. No one put on a luminous bright green jacket to say, hey, slow down, slow down. No one did any of that. Now we talk about the definition of recklessness. That's what Alex is charged with. What the police officers did at the scene is the definition of recklessness. It just is, it's the truth. Because you've got to know about a risk. You've got to know about a risk, and then you've got to consciously disregard it. How do we know the officers consciously disregarded a risk that they know about? It's in their policy and procedure manual. And you're going to hear it from the sergeant who used to be a detective. It's one of the basic policies that the police have. One of the first things they do is warn. You go to the scene of an accident and you warn. You make it safe. They didn't do that. They just got focused in on the first accident while traffic was building up, building up, building up, building up, building up, building up for 20 minutes. Now, he might have been driving too fast, but he was driving the right way on the highway. Shayna Alassal wasn't. She's the first but for. The officers are the second but for. Now, let's talk about Alex. Let me talk this Alex. Let me talk about Alex Castro. Talk about him. And it's going to happen throughout this trial. And I want you to watch out for it, please. State is trying to turn this into an intoxication manslaughter case. And it's not. He was out for 8 hours before this accident. And you're going to hear from him. You're going to hear from him on the videos talking to the officers. He said, I had 4 beers earlier, man, at the driving range. 8 hours before this happened. They're trying to turn this into an intoxication manslaughter case, and it's not. And they're trying to do that because recklessness is presumed, and they can't prove it. Don't let them do it. It is not. Don't let them play on your emotions so that you turn it into that. It's not. He's got to be judged on whether he was reckless or not. What does reckless mean? Remember what we said about reckless. Reckless is you know of a risk. You know of a risk, and then you say, no, I consciously disregard it, which means I know that traffic is stopped. Traffic is at a standstill in front of me. And this is where we're going to ask you, this is why we picked you guys. This is why I'm glad you're on the jury, because we're going to ask you to use your common sense when you look at this evidence, because apply your common sense to this. What the state is saying in this charge, this is why he has to be not guilty, because they're saying that he knows that there's this risk, but he disregards it. So they're saying that he's driving, the state's just said in opening that he's approximately driving 90 miles an hour. He's driving too fast the right way down the highway. So if he's disregarded the risk that he knows is ahead, remember they've got to prove, and you swore an oath a minute ago. The judge gave you the oath. You swore to follow the law and the evidence. This is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. If you follow that oath, you've got to swear to follow the oath, to look at the law, which is that Alex Castro was aware of a risk and he consciously disregarded it. It doesn't make any sense because you're saying, this prosecutor's saying he's doing 90 miles an hour and he's driving into a brick wall. Because that's what they're saying. That's what recklessness is in this case. He is driving 90 miles an hour, according to the prosecutor, into a brick wall. That can't be the case. It makes no sense because that means that's suicide. That's tantamount to him trying to kill himself. Common sense says that. If you are driving at the speed Mr. Escobar says he is, and you're driving into parked traffic, you're trying to kill yourself.
Sustained,
You're trying to kill yourself.
Object to argumentative.
sustained.
And that defies common sense. You see, I'm right. That's why he's objecting.
I'm gonna object to argumentative. and
All right.
Over the shoulder.
All right, number one, the objection is sustained. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, that's an improper argument. These are opening statements. Both parties are to inform you of what they expect the evidence to show you. And state your objection is sustained.
So I want you to think about why this happened. Why this happened, because there's only one person sitting in that chair today, and he's not the only one responsible for this. His actions are by definition not reckless. If anything, he ought to have known. He ought to have known. But to say that he knew and then he disregarded it means he's driving into a brick wall at 90 miles an hour. And that makes no sense. Shana Alasso's the first domino. The police officers are the second, and their investigation, failing to warn, failing to do anything to protect Alexandra Siebert. And she's a good person. I never met her. I've seen a lot of evidence about her. She did nothing wrong. It's a tragic thing. And you're going to hear, and it's,
Sustained.
Judge, it's opening statement. It is
All right, oh, counsel. When I
Thank you,
make
Judge.
my ruling,
I'll
those are
move
my
on, Judge.
rulings. So
And the
the
evidence
objection
is-
is sustained.
Thank you, Judge. I'm sorry. The evidence that you're going to see, the evidence will show that this is heartbreaking. You're going to see things. You're going to see things. I want you to be prepared for that. You're going to see things that are going to break your heart. They are. It's going to hurt your heart when you see it. It is. But remember these dominoes. Go back to the law. The state is going to try and make you see these vehicles outside.
Argumentative.
The evidence is going to show, the state is going to show you these vehicles outside in the parking lot. It's just the truth. And it's going to be shocking. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be shocking. It's going to hurt your heart. But please use your common sense. Please follow the law, because you know the first domino in this case is Shana Alassel. She's not here. She was driven home by the police after driving drunk the wrong way down the highway. The second domino in this case is the police failing to warn anyone. And the third one is the only one that they've got. He's sitting here, is Alex Castro, and he's not negligent. He's not reckless. If anything, he's negligent.
Sustained.
I'm going to ask you to find him not guilty. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to have you all step outside in the hallway. Just give me 2 minutes, okay? All right, everyone, please rise for the jurors. All right, everyone, please be seated. All right. So this is what I want to tell both sides. I understand sometimes passions run high and that everyone is trying to advocate their side. But this is what is not going to happen. And I want people to hear me and internalize what I'm saying. Number one, there are going to be legal objections. I'm going to hear the legal objection and I'm going to make my ruling. And once I make my ruling on the legal objection, there is not going to be a comeback at me that is a response that is not legal. So counsel, this whole thing where the state is objecting, saying it's argumentative, and I rule on it, the comeback answer is, no, it's not argumentative, Judge. It's like, Everyone, keep your levels here, make your objections, I will rule on them. Once I rule on the objection, guess what? That's my ruling. Unless you have something new for me to hear, that's my ruling. And if you feel that my ruling is not correct, then that's what the Court of Appeals are for. That's what the Fourth Court is for, the 13th Supreme Court, wherever you want to take it. But I will tell you what I discovered in my experience trying both as a prosecutor and a defense attorney. The jurors just want to be here. They want to hear what the story is and hear what the facts is. But if there's this back and forth where people are tending to get into the point where it's disrespectful, then we're going to be in a different place and I'm going to respond differently. So in this court, I like everyone to treat everybody with kindness and respect, because that's the way you don't have tempers flaring. Because all the cases in felony court, these are very serious cases where potentially sometimes people are looking at prison. You have complainants' families who may be upset. I don't want their tempers to flare. You have the accused families who may feel like, their family member, their loved one should not be here. So they have tempers as well. So I'm depending on attorneys. You're all professional. You should keep it here. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Judge.
All right, so the rule has been invoked. So state, if you can make sure that your witnesses know, the rule has been invoked. So if there's anyone who's in the courtroom for the state or the defense who's planning on testifying, now's the time where you can no longer be in this courtroom. They've done their opening statements. Witnesses are going to be called. And if people who are planning on testifying view anything or in the courtroom or talk to people about testimony that they've heard, what's going to end up happening if it's discovered, I will probably end up hearing motions from either the state or the defense asking that someone not be allowed to testify. Does everyone understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. The other housekeeping matter, again, if people are putting things on easels, if people are taking papers to people, defense attorney, state attorney, if y'all need to move around to see it, you don't have to ask permission. You don't have to ask permission to approach a witness. But remember, when you approach the witness, after you have finished approaching the witness, which whatever you want them to see, please have a seat. All right. And Laura Metzel, did you have something for me to sign? All right, I'm going to take this up, then we're going to bring the jury back in. Yes.
Just one other preliminary matter that Barbara West is the mother of the victim, Alan. And she is in the courtroom. She's not a material witness, but she may be brought in for punishment purposes if we get the punishment phase. I'd ask for her to be excused from this rule.
Judge, can we approach?
Oh, either you want her, let's go on the record. All right, state, you're asking who be excused from the rule?
Barbara West, she is the mother of the victim. She was not at the scene. She didn't arrive at the scene, nor does she have any knowledge of what happened at the scene as an eyewitness account. She is solely the mother of the victim in this case, and she may be brought in for punishment purposes and not the first phase of this trial, Your Honor.
All right,
Judge, I can't agree to that. We would like to invoke the rule. I can't tell the state how to try their case. They could use other people. So we're invoking the rule, please, Your Honor.
all right. Your witness is allowed to say she's not testing in the first phase of the trial.
That's right.
All right, she's allowed to say.
Well, Your Honor, in that case, based on the court's ruling, can Mr. Castro's parents come in because they're only anticipated to be punishment witnesses if we get there, and I've just told them to leave.
All right, do you have any objections, state?
No.
All right, the state is saying that they have no objections to his parents being allowed in the room because they're only going to testify in punishment if we get there. Is that correct?
Correct, Judge.
All right, so do you still have an objection to the complainant's mother being present?
Well, the court's already ruled, Judge. I'm going off. Yes, I do, Judge, but I'm going on the court's ruling. I'm not waiving that objection, Judge.
No. Here's the thing. I'm just asking questions.
Yeah, I maintain my objection. I respect the court's ruling.
All right.
I don't get them to come in then, Judge.
All right, they can come in. All right. And state and defense, we'll talk about the vehicles. I'm gonna see where we end up in trial today, and then we'll talk about when specifically the vehicles should be here.
Okay.
All right. All right, let's bring the jurors in.
All rise for the jury.
Do you have a cough drop over there? All right, everyone, please be seated. State, you may call your first witness.
Your Honor, the state called Officer Jeremy Morgan.
Your Honor, may we approach very briefly?
Yes. Yes. Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Okay. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. All right, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand. Please state your name for the record and spell it.
First name's Jeremy, Jeremy. Last name's Morgan, Morgan.
All right, and if you'll make sure that you keep your voice up so that members of the jury can hear
Yes, ma'am.
and the court reporter.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state, you may proceed.
Officer Morgan, who do you currently work for?
I work for the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you worked for San Antonio?
I've been employed with them for over 5 years.
What type of training did you receive to become a San Antonio Police Department officer?
Went through 8 months of rigorous training from April of 2019 to November of 2019.
And during this training, what did you learn about in order to become a police officer? What sort of subjects?
Learned various things ranging from tactics, penal code, traffic code, safety, how to de-escalate.
So what unit are you currently assigned to?
Currently assigned to North Patrol.
Border Patrol, what area does that cover?
It covers as far south as Patricia and as far north all the way to Comal County.
And what are your duties as a patrol officer?
My duties are to respond to calls for services and ensure the safety for the public.
And were you working on July 22nd, 2022?
Yes, sir.
Now, what shift were you working on that day?
I was working power shift.
What does that mean?
That shift rate starts at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and goes all the way to 3 o'clock in the morning the following day.
And on July 22nd, 2022, in the morning hours, did you have to respond to a call?
Yes, sir.
What call did you respond to?
Respond to a major accident at 281 TPC Parkway.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Mr. Morgan, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1. I want you to take a look and see, do you recognize this?
I do recognize it.
What is it?
That is a copy of my Coban video.
And is it a true and accurate depiction of the video that your co-ban captured on that day?
Yes, sir.
Has it been altered or amended in any way?
No, sir.
Your Honor, state what offer State's Exhibit 1 into evidence.
Yes.
No objection.
All right, state's exhibit number 1 is admitted without objection.
Commissioner Public Judge.
Granted.
Another one.
corner,
Right-hand side?
right-hand side, sorry. Oh, this one. Officer Morgan, what are we seeing here?
See me driving northbound 281.
And roughly what area are we in?
We are in the Evans Stone Oak area.
And what area of the town, of San Antonio is this on?
This is on the far north side.
And is this in Bear County?
Yes, sir.
And so looking at the video, what are you approaching?
I'm approaching the exit ramp for Marshall Road.
And where was the accident you were responding to?
We were dispatched at 281 at TPC. Upon arriving on scene, we found that the crash was further north, right at the edge of the exit ramp for Marshall Road.
And what are we seeing up ahead on the highway in Coban?
Stop traffic.
How can you tell it's stop traffic?
Brake lights, vehicles are not moving.
And what do you do after you arrive at the scene?
I tried to make my way through, but knowing that I can't fit my patrol vehicle through there, even I split the cars, I decided to exit my vehicle and to assess what I had up ahead.
Approaching with what's marked as state exhibit number 2. Do you recognize this?
Yes, sir.
What is this?
It's a copy of my body camera.
Okay. And other than redactions for legal reasons, has it been altered in any way?
No, sir.
And again, it's a true copy of what happened that day.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, state what offer states exhibit number 2.
Yes. Any objection? Well, let me ask you this. Have you seen State's Exhibit number 2 in its entirety? All right. How long is this? No, with regards to its hearing, how long is the video? All right, step back. Ladies and gentlemen, there's something I need to take outside your presence. I'm gonna have you all come back. I'm gonna say 10:30. It may be sooner than 10:30. You've heard some evidence in this case. You're not allowed to start internally thinking about this case outside this courtroom. You are not allowed to view anything about this case. You are not allowed to do any investigation. You are not even allowed to talk to each other about what you've seen so far in this courtroom. So you're not allowed, do not think about this case unless you are in this courtroom and you're listening to what's being presented. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna have you all back at 10:30. Everyone, please rise for the jurors. Defense, you have objections to State's Exhibit number 2. Have you had a chance to view it?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
All right, State, if you'll play it so that defense counsel can see the redacted version.
Yes, Judge.
And so if you would like to walk around, you're more than welcome to walk around. We're taking a short break for them to view the video. Just remember, you're under oath and the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state and the defense. Do you understand? All right, you may step down. You're welcome. Deputy Board.
Another accident over there. Yeah, I hit my brakes and everybody stopped and I couldn't stop. Oh, there's another car. Alright, I got EMS coming to take you out. Just bear with me.
Your Honor, that's one portion. There's about 4 of them.
Oh, no, he has an objection to his client's statement. So wherever his client's statement is, please play it. And we'll see, defense if you still have objections.
Judge.
So pause it for one moment. If you pause for one moment. So the first statement, defense, where the officer has made contact with, I'm making an assumption that it's your client. Do you have any objections to that first part?
Judge, I'm not sure. Could we play it again very briefly?
All right.
And what's up in EMS? What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? I don't know, everybody stopped. Yeah, and we have another accident over there. Yeah, I hit my brakes and everybody stopped and I couldn't stop. Oh, there's another car. Alright, I got EMS coming to check you out. Just bear with me.
All right, pause.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right, so defense has no objection to that statement. If you can move on to the next statement that's made.
That's right. Okay. So. Yeah, it is. You the driver of this one? Yeah, you got the license on you? Yeah. Yes, I can hear and hold up the sanitation. This one is correct. What happened? Everybody hit the brakes on some of the brakes and it just. I couldn't. I tried to, I hit the brakes. Okay. Who'd you hit? You hit him? Nope.
And then from there, Judge, that's that second portion.
All right, any objection to the second statement?
No objection, Judge. It's not his. Yeah, play.
Right here. Oh, you're good. Alright, so it might be a good minute for you to be out here. We're waiting for our investigative unit to come out here, talk with you to see what happened. That's for you. So at the top, that's it's gonna be labeled as crashes right now. Case number's right there for your insurance purposes. And it's got all of you that's coming out of traffic investigations department. They'll come out here and ask you what happened. Do you recall what happened? Like, this traffic came to a stop?
I just remember everything came to a stop and I hit the brakes. And I just kept on the brakes and I kept seeing brake lights and everything just,
Do you know when you hit? Like, did you hit it? You hit the 18-wheeler?
thought I hit him, yeah.
No, you hit it down.
He said I hit him, but I don't know what I flipped on. I know I flipped.
You like rolled or like spun? 'Cause
I know, I rolled. I mean, you can see the scratches all on the side of the truck.
yeah, I can see the scratches. I guess if you just roll like that. Try to figure out what you might. Hit on that.
I think the 18-wheeler hit him and he stopped all of a sudden and I just got like, just tried as hard as I could to hit the brakes.
Yeah. All the way to TPC, because that's the nearest exit, because we can't have any more coming through here right now. Your truck's stuck here for a little bit.
I'm just wondering if my wife's coming.
Yeah, if your wife wants to chill in the parking lot over there, yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna be a good minute. And we can always give you a courtesy right off the highway. You got any other questions?
I really just want to know what happened. All I know is everybody hit the brakes and I hit the brakes. Just didn't stop.
Yeah.
We were all going in traffic. We were all going. I had no more brake.
Well, I don't know. If it's a picture or not, I mean, I get told, I don't know how much your insurance is gonna catch
I
you.
don't know. I full coverage on it. I'm not worried about that. I'm just.
Trying to figure out what's going on. You and me both. So,
That's the third portion is kind of broken up, Judge.
No objection to that, Judge.
All right.
But we have objection to everything after that, Your Honour. That's what the subject of the hearing we would like with.
All right,
officer.
continue with the video.
Yes, Judge, without the-
Yeah.
that's something. My car? I'm not gonna say anything. As long as it's not exposed over to the public over there. Yeah, yeah, I got it. So if you just wanna, I go out right here. You just wanna go for it. The what? My wife kept trying to move. I know, like I said, I can't stop other people from crashing their cars too, earlier today. Yeah.
Well,
Is it for work?
no, I feel like I got one time. Well, all the I really actually it's really. I'm gonna let them know about my feeling and my.
Okay. How long was that? Oh, wow, so kind of recent, then, like 2 months ago, right?
It wasn't really an accident, they tried to steal my bike.
Oh, from where?
That's all.
We were trying to steal it over there.
Yeah, it, wall. And there's like four people like trying to just get off my body. But one guy grabbed my arm, that was my punch in. So I just hit it. And not a wall, but like I hit a curb. And I just flipped over.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of saved myself, but
You say the bike at least?
yeah, my fine.
That's good.
I spent a lot, man.
Like I was on my way to pick up my boy, and he's like, I need a ride. I'm like, I got you. I was sitting softball over there on Blanco, Texas or Blanco Road? Oh, okay. I didn't know where he was at. I was like, where you at? And I was like trying to put it in my, and that little Honda just like came into me and like slid over me. What do you mean the Honda slid into you? I don't know, it came like into me, like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, or I didn't notice her actually, so. Yeah, so the driver was over there. Yeah, the driver was just like erratic, and it just like came into me. And it put me over, and I was like, which lane was you driving in, you know? One day I was in this lane, I was in the fast lane, you were in the right hand lane. And she was driving erratic, which way was she driving erratic on? Bouncing all over the place. Talk about get the median or what? Talk about hitting like the median or something? Like, I mean, I did. Like, I thought she was pulling over. And she came under me and I was on my side. There was nothing I could do. I was just like pulling on. Which part under you are you talking about? Just like she came and put on your right side or your left side? On the right side. But she came over and on the right side. From looking at it, I guess I went over her and stopped right there. Yeah, so that caused you to roll over and no. Yeah. And so then you flipped for a good amount. I was sliding. Is he good? Yeah, take a little bit of it, good. Well, I spent right there. I did, man. Dude, this is horrible. The 18 was Mike, he's gonna take off. No, he's not taking off, he's just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. Cause this is part of our crash. It's gotta stay, even with all the stuff he has in it. Cause you know, yeah, his destination. Yeah. You'll go surprise her here with you, hopefully. I'm ready to go. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, it's horrible. Yeah, and why don't we get them to talk with y'all first and then send y'all on your way? Cause like, I thought like I just give like a first. No, they like do their interviews for the person. Especially when it's on scene. It's fresh. Yeah, I just wanna stay with them. We're gonna type up the report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
That's the final portion, Judge.
All right, defense, you have objections?
Yeah, object to that, Judge. That was Mr. Castro was asked to leave several times, said that his wife is there to pick him up. He doesn't mind providing a statement, but the officer keeps questioning him. And under Jackson versus Deno, our position is that's a coercive involuntary statement because he's not allowed to leave. In effect, he's under arrest at this point. He's asked to leave. He said his wife's here. The officer says he can't even go to the restroom at this point. Yet they still detained him. And this is 2 hours after the accident. So he's been on the scene for 2 hours. He's not allowed to leave. In effect, he's under arrest. He's been told he can't leave. Yet the officer keeps questioning him. And it's coercive and it's overborne his will. No statement should come in and we object to him, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, here, Mr. Castro has never put in handcuffs. He's never been in the back of the squad car. He's allowed to be on his cell phone. He's allowed to stand on the side of the highway.
He is allowed to use the restroom. The officer is walking with him because it is a highway. At no point is he ever actually arrested. He's allowed to leave. At the end of this night, Mr. Castro is never actually arrested. There are also two other drivers that were there at the scene that were involved in this car crash that are also asked to stay and are told to stay so that they can talk to traffic investigators. So he's not put under any more coercive pressure than the other two drivers. So we're asking that the court rule that his statements are voluntary at this point.
May I briefly respond, Your Honor?
Yes.
Well, we don't actually know that. I understand Mr. Escobar's point, but we don't know that, do we? Because we haven't seen any of the evidence to do with Mr. Stefanov or the
All right,
driver.
so let me just tell everybody, the only person I am focused on is whether or not the statement by Mr. Castro followed the proper rules and the proper law. That's it.
Thank you, Judge. In that case, it didn't, because it's irrelevant what happened to the other drivers. They're not an accused in a criminal case. Mr. Castro is. That's why he's not allowed to leave, because as we're going to see later on, they suspect him of, the officer makes comments on there about him hauling ass and stuff like that. Excuse my language. But he's a suspect. He's a target of this investigation already, and he's not allowed to leave. And the court knows, and I don't need to tell the court that handcuffs isn't the only measure of whether someone's arrested. In Texas, someone doesn't have to be told they're under arrest. It's whether their freedom of movement would make is impeded in such a way that a reasonable person under circumstances would believe that they are under arrest. At this point, he said, my wife's here. Can I go? No, you can't. Can I use the bathroom? No. I've got a doctor's appointment in the morning because I had a motorcycle accident. No, you can't leave. You can't leave. You can't leave. He's under arrest, Judge. These statements can come in and we'll defer to the court. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Any other objections to this other than the statements?
Yes, Judge, it violates his 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights under US Constitution, Article 1, Section 10 of the Texas Constitution, and it violates 3822, and therefore it's 3823 of the Code of Criminal Procedure, Judge. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you, Judge.
anything else? All right. And State, if you could do me a favor, if you could just play the part that he is saying that is on the video.
Yes, Judge. So we wanted to skip, I just want to be clear.
No, he's saying that there's a part in the video where Mr. Castro is asking to leave and he's being told that he cannot leave.
Judge, if it helps the court, the timestamp is 3:12:27, I think, on the Zulu time.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's not.
And Judge,
It might be. That's where it starts.
I have at least a 14-year with gas.
All right.
Honestly, I was in this lane. I was in the back lane. You were in the right hand lane. And she was driving erratic. Which way was she driving erratic on? She was bouncing all over the place. Come on, get median or what? Talking about hitting like the median or something? Like, I mean, I did. Like, I thought she was pulling over. And she came under me and I was just on my side. I don't know, I didn't know, I was like holding on. Which part under you are you talking about? Just like she came and put on your right side or the left side? On the right side. Or she came over on the right side. From looking at it, I guess I just went over her and right there. Yeah. So that caused you to roll over and yeah. And so then you flipped for a good amount. I was fine. Is he good? Take a little breather. It was good. Go home. I did, man. She was home. The 18 was looking like he's gonna take off. No, he's not taking off. He's just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. Because this is part of our crash. Gotta stay, even with all the stuff he has in there. The yeah, it's that same. Oh, you'll go surprise her here. Hopefully. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is yeah, it's why we get them to talk to y'all first and then if they're going away. I thought it might just give like a break. No, they let you do their interviews, especially when it's on scene. It's fresh, Yeah, if you just wanna stay with them. We're gonna call through the title of the report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
All right, if you can go back, just back to the part.
Yeah, I just
Where he
wanna
says, talk to you first, then you can be on your way. Let me just rehear that, please.
Stop first and then think. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing, it's for, but, yeah, why don't we get them to talk with y'all first and then say going away? Cause like, I thought like, I just get like a brief statement, just be on my way. No, they let you do their interviews, especially when it's on scene. It's fresh, right? Yeah, I just wanna stay with them. You're gonna call me, we're gonna title the report. Y'all cool with watching them again?
All right, so is that the end of his statement?
Yes, Judge, in this video, we have any other statements made by the defendant having to do because our body and set on our office.
All right, so with regards to this video, defense, your objections will be overruled.
Thank you, Judge. And if I may, just real quick, I just said to the state, there's another timestamp that I think we might have missed. And it's 3:25. It starts at 3:25:45. And that's another example of him not being free to leave before that one, but we didn't get to see that one, Judge. We're going to see it now, hopefully.
This is 3:25:45.
Yeah, it's just look after that when you can hear the officer talking,
Oh, I think it's muted.
but it's muted. Yeah.
Defendant is not allowed.
It's not, but you can hear the officer there on the, if I can proffer it, Judge, the officer is saying, Officer Morgan is talking to other officers, asking where the defendant is because he wants to know where he is. And then he tells the other officer, I think that's Officer,
Oh, no, you can remain seated,
Thank you.
but
I think he's telling Officer Chavaria, who we can see in the screen if it's not muted. Where is he? He said he's getting picked up and tired of waiting. And Officer Morgan says, if we can hear it, I can't cut him loose. Now that is demonstrating his subjective intent to keep him there.
all
And if
right,
he's keeping him there, he's detained. And if he's detained, our argument is judged that he's under arrest.
all right, objection is overruled. With regards to State Exhibit number 2. All right, the jury's coming back in at 10:30. So if anyone wants to take a break, now's the time to take your break.
Go outside.
Y'all can be seated. She'll make the announcement at the door when the jury is here. And state, if you'll just, I believe where you left off, you were offering state's exhibit number 2.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And
And any other objections you want me to hear before the jury comes in?
Yeah, Judge. I mean, I was going to say that we maintain or
We are on the record.
where is it? What? You got the checks we did and stuff.
All right, defense.
Judge, yes, the objection to the video is the same.
And it's state's exhibit number 2.
Is it's 2, Judge? State's
Yes.
Exhibit 2, which is, I believe, Officer Morgan's body camera. And they are to statements after,
312.
and it's the Zulu stamp at the top. It's not on the screen right now. It's 312, I believe it is. Our objections to any statement after that made by the defendant where he is not free to leave. He's expressed his desire to leave. His wife is there. He's asked if he can be excused and he'll give a statement. But the officer manifests his intent to keep him there. He's detained. He is not allowed to leave. He doesn't know he's not under arrest, but the effect of it, of the totality of the circumstances, is that his freedom of movement has been restricted in such a way that a normal person would believe that they are under arrest because he's not free to go and see his wife. He's not free to go to the bathroom. He's being kept there. So his the situation is the same as custodial arrest, and any statements he has made are because his will has been overborne by hours, not minutes, hours, 2, maybe 3 hours of questioning. And therefore we object to any of those statements that he makes after timestamp 312, I think it is, Judge. On the 5th.
All right, just one moment. State, are there any statements made by him after that with regards to this witness?
After the final statement that the state played for the hearing, there are no more statements, anything else is needed.
All right, the objection will be overruled. Let's bring the jurors in.
And Judge, just to that, I know, I'm sorry, and to any evidence after that, any statements by the defendant and any evidence derived from statements from him after
All
that
right.
point, Judge.
So with regards to your objection, state has informed the court, and I watched state's exhibit number 2 with both state and defense, that with regards to this officer and this officer's body cam, there are no further statements through this officer after there is what appears to be a statement made by the accused about leaving. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, your objection is overruled. Let's bring in the jurors.
All right, for the jury.
All right, everyone, please be seated. And I believe where we left off, state you were offering into evidence state's exhibit number 2,
Yes, no, the state officer is exhibit number 2.
and defense, your objections have been noted for the record.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, those objections will be overruled. State's exhibit number 2 is admitted. Granted.
Well, Logan, I'm stopping your body cam at 156.11 in the top right corner. What are we seeing you do here?
I'm walking up to what I presume would be the crash further north, but I couldn't make it with my patrol car.
And why couldn't you make it with your patrol car?
My patrol car couldn't fit through the sea of vehicles.
Just as we're watching the state's exhibit number 2, how many vehicles are out there on the highway?
I would say several dozen.
Now, fast forwarding all the way up to 156.29, what are we seeing at this, or 158.32, sorry about that. What are we seeing at this point?
The original crash I was dispatched to.
And what was the
cause of the original crash?
Wrong way driver.
And who is the main handling officer on this crash?
I was the original handling officer.
Were you the only officer that showed up at the scene?
No, sir.
Who else showed up?
Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga.
But you were the primary.
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the jury, what does it mean when you're the primary?
When you're the primary officer, you're the one handling the report, taking statements, investigating what's happening.
Fast forwarding through state's exhibit number 2, did you speak to any of the witnesses that were involved in the crash, in that first car crash?
No
Object to
witness.
hearsay.
Overrule, you can answer yes or no, but do not state what anyone told you.
No,
So you didn't talk to anyone that was involved in the first crash, or you did?
I did.
Now, fast forwarding through state's exhibit number 2, up until roughly $2:17:37. Now, at this point, you've been at this first car crash for about 10 to 15 minutes, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, now that you're back at your patrol car, what are you doing?
Making sure everyone has valid insurance and license.
So you're partway through your investigation.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get an opportunity to finish your investigation?
No, sir.
What made you pause the investigation into the first crash?
I saw Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga running towards my vehicle.
And when they got towards your vehicle, did they notify you of anything?
Yes.
And what were you notified of?
That they presumed I was involved in a crash, but they also heard a crash further south.
So they heard a crash further south. What did you do upon hearing that?
Went to go figure out what happened further south.
Now, fast forwarding, and this is to 2:23:30. What are we seeing here?
Talking with my cover officers about what happened,
And what are they informing you of?
that there was a crash that flipped. Or there was a vehicle that flipped.
And how far away from your patrol vehicle was this crash? I'm fast forwarding. Was it a close distance? Was it far?
It was pretty far from where the original crash was and where we were.
Is it 2:40 or 2:24:46? What are you doing?
Walking over to where they heard they had the crash.
At this point, at about 2:25:37, what are you beginning to do?
Starting to jog
And why is that?
because I saw a vehicle crashed out on the right shoulder.
And why is your camera shaking around a lot right now?
Because I'm jogging over to the vehicle.
And is the body worn camera, whenever you wear it, is it steady?
No, never.
And what can sometimes happen?
It can shake.
And you proceeded about 2:26:14. Where's the body cam now?
It's in my hand.
And who are you talking to at 2:26:19?
I'm talking to Mr. Stefanov.
And who's Mr. Stefanov?
He was the driver of the Volkswagen, the first vehicle I saw.
And how many vehicles did you at first think were involved in this second crash?
I only presume that there was 3 vehicles involved.
What type of vehicles?
One was a Volkswagen, which Mr. Stefanov was driving. Then I saw an 18 big rig. And then I saw a Chevy Silverado.
So you first talked to Mr. Stefanov.
Yes, sir.
And where was Mr. Stefanov's car in relation to that 18-wheeler?
It was about 2. It's 1 o'clock.
Was it ahead of the 18-wheeler?
Yes.
And right here in 2:26:33, where are you going now?
I'm running over to the Chevy Silverado.
And what do what's up in your mess? What's up, man? I'm okay. What happened? I know everybody's down. Yeah, and we have another accident over there. Yeah, I hit my brakes and everybody talking. I couldn't talk about well. Oh, there's another car. Alright, I got you, miss.
I'm stopping at about 2:27:14. Who are you talking to at 2:27:14?
Mr. Alexander Castro.
And do you see Mr. Castro here in the courtroom?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out to him and describe him by an article of clothing that he's wearing?
He's wearing the blue suit and gray pants.
Let the record reflect that the officer has identified the defendant. Where was Mr. Castro whenever you first encountered him?
He was in the driver's seat of the Chevy Silverado.
And did you ask him what happened?
Yes, sir.
And what did he say?
He said everyone's braking, tried to brake, couldn't brake.
And while you were talking to Mr. Castro, did you notice anything?
That he was involved in a very serious crash.
Did you notice any other cars?
Yes,
Well, where did you notice another car?
further south of where his truck was, about it's 5 o'clock.
So further south. So it was further south on 281.
Yes, sir.
And so you were already responding to the first accident that's in Barrett County, but now we're going more south to where we're definitely in Barrett County.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Al. Just bear with me.
Now, 2:27:20, what are you doing?
Running over to the Honda Accord because I didn't see a driver exit the vehicle.
Now, pause the video at 2:27:55. How many people were in the Honda Accord when you approached?
Only one person.
What was the name of that individual? Did you ever gather that info?
Initially, no, but it was relayed as Miss Alexandria Sabert.
And what was Miss Saber's condition?
She had a massive laceration on her forehead from what we could initially see.
Was she conscious?
She was not conscious.
While you were with her, did she ever regain consciousness?
Never.
Your Honor, may we approach very briefly?
Yes. All right, you may proceed.
I'm pausing the video at 2:28:21. What are you trying to do here?
Trying to make contact with her, trying to talk to her.
And what's your concern at this time?
Making sure she's stable.
And were there other officers there with you while you were with Ms. Saber?
Yes, sir.
Who else was with you?
Officer Rodriguez.
Did any other officers show up while you were there?
Later on, when I requested more, yes.
Fast forwarding. At 2:29:40, what are you doing here, sir?
Trying to alert other drivers that there's a major crash that just happened. Trying to get them to slow down.
And were all the other drivers slowing down?
Yes.
Fast forward to 2:30:37. At this point, Officer Morgan, what are you trying to do?
Still trying to make contact with Miss Sabert.
What does Officer Rodriguez do?
We're cutting the seatbelt.
Why are you cutting the seatbelt?
I believe that she may have been choking on her own blood based on the position she was in. So we wanted to put her in a recovery position,
What did you decide to do?
extract her from the vehicle.
Was that the right decision?
No,
Why?
based on my training, I should have just kept her there, wait for EMS.
Well, what was your concern?
My concern was making sure she wasn't choking on her own blood.
Transported to 23150. What are you doing at 23235?
Making sure she's in the recovery position,
What's the recovery position?
leg over leg. Making sure her head's stable.
And why would you put someone in the recovery position?
This way the blood does not go down their throat, can come out their mouth.
And did you stay with Ms. Seibert?
For brief moments.
I'm fast forwarding right now. Uh, 2:36:0. And I'm pausing at 2:36:04. Who did you leave with, Ms. Seibert?
I left Miss Cyber with Officer Chavadia and Officer Rodriguez.
And what was your concern?
Went to go make contact with the other drivers involved.
Was EMS already on the way?
Yes.
Okay. So. You the driver of this one?
Yeah.
You got your license on you?
Yeah.
Yes, man. Can you hear any whole other location? As what's on you is correct?
Everything was right.
What happened?
Everybody hit the brakes on some of the brakes. I couldn't. I tried to, I hit the brakes and
Okay. Who'd you hit? You hit him?
Nope.
Pausing at 2:37:10. So did you get another opportunity to talk to Mr. Castro?
Yes, sir.
And what did he tell you the second time that you spoke?
He said everyone hit the brakes. I hit the brakes.
And after that point, what did you begin to do?
Went over to Mr. Stefanov's vehicle after speaking with Mr. Martinez.
And Mr. Martinez, who was he? What vehicle was he driving?
He was driving the big rig for HEB.
And at 2:37:23, is that the big rig we see on screen?
Yes, sir.
Fast forwarding now. Did EMS ever arrive?
Yes, sir.
Now we're seeing that here at 2:38:56.
Yes, sir.
So a few minutes after you encountered Ms. Seibert, EMS is here.
Yes, sir.
And are you aware, where did they take her?
Samsey, I believe.
What are we seeing?
Me speaking with Mr. Stepanov, trying to get his driver's license.
We're speaking with all these other drivers, without saying what they told you. Are you getting information on how the crash occurred?
Yes, sir.
We see at 2:40:46, we can kind of tell that Mr. Stepanov's vehicle is ahead of that HEV 18-wheeler. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And where is Mr. Castor's vehicle in relation to that HEV 18-wheeler?
Right behind it, but behind the trailer.
And then the Cybert's vehicle, that's further south down 281.
Yes, sir.
I fast forwarded to 2:42:33. At this point, what are you doing?
Speaking with my cover officers, handing the original crash over to one of them, or asking them if they can handle that while I handle the fatality.
And what do we notice here? What's missing here that was there when you were further north on 281? What was there?
Traffic.
Where's the traffic now?
It's been moved.
Again. This time to about 2:44:29. Where are you now?
Inside my patrol vehicle,
And what are you doing?
contacting TID.
TID. Explain to the jury, what is that?
TID is abbreviation for Traffic Investigations Detail,
And what is TID's job?
to investigate severe crashes involving serious bodily injury and or death.
And why do you have to call them when there's cases involving serious bodily injury or death?
Because they're the specialists
What do they specialize in?
investigating how crashes occur.
And so are you able to speak to a TID detective?
Yes.
Who do you speak to?
Back then it was Detective Martinez, now she's Sergeant Martinez.
And what are you doing when you're talking to Detective Martinez, now Sergeant Martinez?
Telling her what the other drivers have said and in regards to how the crash happened.
And does Sergeant Martinez ever give you any orders as to what to do next?
Object
Yes.
to hearsay, Judge.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can't say what was said. Just remember to answer the questions that's asked of you. So the answer to that question is either yes or no.
Yes.
Could you repeat your question, please?
Did Sergeant Martinez ever give you any orders?
Yes.
Did you follow those orders?
No.
What did you not do?
I forgot to call them back for an update on Miss Seibert's condition.
So after your conversation with TID, what do you think is going to happen next?
I'm under the presumption that they would be making our scene after they finished what crash scene they were on.
How long did it take TID to make that scene?
Roughly 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Did you ever follow up with TID during that time?
Not until after they asked me to call them.
While you were waiting for TID, or what you thought TID was on their way, what were you doing?
Repositioning my patrol vehicle.
Fast forwarding. 2:55, 55. What are you doing at this point?
Making my way to the crash scene.
Now, where was your patrol vehicle originally?
It was on the exit ramp for Marshall Road,
Where are you now positioning your vehicle?
south of the original crash scene. I'm sorry, the secondary crash.
I'm gonna take. Exhibit number 1. What are we seeing in state's exhibit number 1? And this is at about 2:54, 51.
An open exit ramp,
And what are you doing?
driving to go take the turnaround at Marshall Road to go south.
Now, at 2:55, 15, what was the thing that we saw on that exit ramp? What did we see?
A tow truck towing a vehicle.
Was that one of the vehicles that was involved in the first car crash?
Yes.
Transport state's exhibit number 1. What are we seeing on that fast forward?
Be driving south on the access road of 281.
Now, what road are you turning on at 2:59, 53?
That was the access road for North Loop 604 East. Now it looks like I'm about to take the entrance ramp before Redland Road.
At about 3:135, what are we seeing here?
I was shutting down the highway.
Why did they shut down the highway?
It's procedure whenever we're in TID's making scene.
And what exit are you passing here at 3:01:59?
I'm passing up the TPC exit.
On the side of the road, are you noticing anything as you're driving towards where that second car crash happened?
There's no traffic on the access road.
Do you notice any signs?
Yes.
What are those signs for?
Construction.
So they're a warning.
Yes.
And up at the horizon at 3:2:31, what are we seeing up ahead?
The second crash.
Could you see that where that second crash happened from a distance?
Yes, sir.
Now, up ahead, what is that?
It's the second crash that occurred.
Now that 3303. After you repositioned your vehicle, what did you begin to do? And
I-
again, we're the state's playing state's exhibit number 2 at 3410.
Now I'm entering my patrol vehicle to write case cards for all parties involved.
What's the case code?
Case card is basically whenever there's an official text crash report or any kind of report that SAPD is going to be investigating.
So you have to give it to all the involved drivers?
Yes, sir.
I'm scoring. You see, exhibit number 2. I'm stopping at about 3940. What are we seeing as you're walking around at state during state exhibit number 2?
The totality of the crash.
Now, 31020, who are you approaching?
Mr. Castro.
Oh, you're good. So it might be a good minute for you to be out here. We're waiting for our investigative unit to come out here, talk with you to see what happened. That's for you. So at the top, it's gonna be labeled as crashes right now. Based on right there for your insurance purposes. It's got all of you that's coming out of the traffic investigation department. They'll come out here and ask you what happened. Do you recall what happened? Like, just traffic came to a stop?
I just remember everything came to a stop and I hit the brakes. And I just kept on the brakes and I kept seeing brake lights and everything just.
Do you know when you hit? Like, did you hit the 18 wheeler?
Thought I hit him, yeah.
No, you didn't know.
He said I hit him, but I don't know what I flipped on. I know I flipped.
You like rolled or like spun?
I know I rolled. I mean, you can see the scratches all on the side.
Yeah, I can see the scratches. I guess if it just rolled like that. Try to figure out what you might. You know,
I think the 18 would have hit him, and he stopped all of a sudden, and I just stopped, like, just tried as hard as I could to hit the brakes.
Yeah. Only a TPC, because that's the nearest exit. Because we can't have anyone coming through here right now. Your truck's stuck here for a little bit.
I'm just wondering if my life.
Yeah, your wife wants to chill in the parking lot over there, that's the best idea. Because like I said, it's gonna be a good minute. And we can always give you a courtesy right off the highway. You got any other questions?
really just wanna know what happened. All I know is everybody hit the brakes, and I hit the brakes, and I just couldn't stop. Yeah. They're all going with traffic, they're all going. I had no more brake. Well, I don't know. Or not, I mean, I just told, I don't know how much serious they can do. I pulled cover. Not worried about that, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. You and me both. So,
I'm stopping the video at 3:13:25. Can you talk to Mr. Casper again? Can you give any more details as to about what happened?
Yes.
What details did he give?
Said everyone was hitting the brakes. I hit the brakes. Couldn't stop.
Did he know what he hit?
He believed he hit the 18-wheeler.
Did he ever describe how traffic was flowing?
He said it was flowing as normal.
Now, after 3:13:26, I'm gonna start fast forwarding. What do you begin to do?
Go and talk with Mrs. Stepanov.
I'm stopping the video at 3:14:37. What are you doing with Mr. Stepanov?
Trying to assess what injuries he has and let him know that EMS is on the way.
And do you talk again about what he may have seen?
Yes.
Fast forwarding. About 3:17:10. What are we seeing here?
Mrs. Stepanov's Volkswagen.
Forwarding again. About 3:18:51. What are we seeing you do here?
I'm talking to Mr. Martinez, gathering his information.
And are you also trying to ask what happened?
Yes, sir.
Fast forward again. Uh, 3:25:45. What are you beginning to do here?
I was trying to figure out where Mr. Castro went.
Was he in the same spot that he was in earlier?
No, sir.
Or where had he gone?
He had walked further south towards where my cover officers were shutting down traffic.
And did he stay with your cover officers?
Begrudgingly, yes.
Why do you say begrudgingly?
Because from what Officer Travaglio was saying, he was trying to be assertive and trying to leave.
Fast forwarding. About 3:29:14. What are you doing here?
Assessing the damage to Miss Sabert's vehicle.
Officer Morgan, are you trained in any sort of accident reconstruction?
No. Just a bare minimum.
So you can't figure out how this happened.
No, sir.
Who would be able to figure that out?
CID.
Fast forwarding again. I'm getting out. 4:21:28. On fast forwarding, what are you doing?
Typing up reports, catching up
Catching up with what?
on prior reports and adding information to this case.
Three or 4 minutes or 4 hours flat. What are you doing again?
Assessing the damage of the crash.
Uh, 4:21:28.
Una fatality over me. No.
Still gonna get a 415.
They'll finish up on a fatality over on downtown.
So what did we hear you do there?
Inform Mr. Castro that TID is still working on another crash.
Hi, Michael.
419.
Hi, Michael.
Mr. Castro said that he needed to use the restroom, so I'm escorting him over further south so he can take care of business.
And why can't they escort him further south?
This way, it wouldn't contaminate the crash scene.
I'm not gonna say anything. As long as it's not exposed over to the public over there. Yeah, yeah, I got it. So if you just wanna. I go out right here. You just wanna go for it. The what? I know, like I said, I can't stop other people from crashing their car too, earlier today. Yeah. Well, is it for work? No, yeah, I got the motor. Go from home, well, follow, I use the phone. That's actually really, really. I'm gonna let you know if I'm feeling or if I'm. Okay. How long was that? Oh, wow, so kind of recent, like 3 months ago. It wasn't really an accident, they tried to steal my money. Oh, from where? There. Yeah, it's ball. And there's like 4 people like trying to get off my body. One guy grabbed my arm and that was my punch hand. So I just hit it. I hit it. Not a wall, but I hit a curb. And I just flipped over it. Oh, okay. So I kind of saved myself, but you saved the bike at least? Yeah, the bike's fine. That's good. I still do a lot, man. Like, that it is. Like, I was on my way to pick up my boy, and he's like, I need a ride. I'm like, I got you. I was hitting golf balls. Okay. Blanco, Texas or Blanco Road? Oh, okay. I didn't know where he was at, and I was like, where you at? And I was like, trying to put it in my GPS. And then little Honda just like came into me and like slid over me. What do you mean the Honda slid into you? I don't know, she came like into me, like, I don't know. I wasn't paying attention to what she was doing, or I didn't know it was her actually, so. Yeah, so the driver was over there. Yeah, the driver was just like erratic, and it just like came into me. And it took me over, and I was like, what's trying to do driving, you know? One day I was in this lane, I was in the fast lane, you were in the right hand lane. And she was driving erratic, which way was she driving erratic on? It was bouncing all over the place. Talk about against the median or what? Talk about hitting like the median or something, or I mean I did. I thought she was pulling over. And she came under me and I was on my side. There was nothing I could do, I was just like pulling on. Which part under you are you talking about? Just like she just came and put on your right side or your left side? On the right side. So she came over and she on the right side. From looking at it, I guess I just went over her and stopped right there. Yeah. So I caused you to roll over and no. Yeah. I said, then you flipped for a good amount. I was sliding. Is he good?
Think a little bit that they would just. I did, man. It's a whole. 18 months, but the price is in. No, he's not getting out. He's just chilling. He can't take off with the vehicle yet. So it's part of our crash. Gotta say, even with all the stuff he has in it. Cause he might be at his destination. Oh, you'll go surprise her here, too. Hopefully. I'm ready for it. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing. Yeah, it was, we get them to talk with y'all first and then send y'all on your way. Cause like, I thought like I just get like a first statements. You know how it goes. No, they let you do their interviews for the person. Especially when it's on scene. It's fresh, right? Yeah, you just wanna stay with them. I'll do a type of the report. Y'all cool with watching him again?
I'm pausing at 4:24:43. What new details did Mr. Castro just tell you?
Mr. Castro said that he was golfing and then he received a text from his boy saying, I need a ride. So he said he was messing with GPS and he saw the Honda driving erratic.
What did he say that the Honda did to him?
He said that the Honda went under him.
That the Honda struck him?
Yes, sir.
But he also said that the Honda had been pulling over?
Yes, sir.
Now, at this point, it's been about 2 hours since the crash, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Has CID made their way out there?
No, sir.
That's what you were still waiting for, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, were you ever informed that CID was on their way? Now, fast forwarding right now.
After Detective Martinez wanted to speak with me on the phone, I relayed the information on her on Miss Seibert's condition at the hospital. So they started making their way over to our location.
Fast forward. Several minutes. At one point, were you notified that CID was on their way?
After I was done with my phone conversation in the patrol vehicle.
Fast forwarding. Until 6:11:33. Who are you approaching at 6:11:33?
Sergeant Martinez and Mr. Castro.
Now, Officer Morgan, with the driver that was involved in that first crash, did you ever investigate whether they were intoxicated?
No. Initially, I tried to go back, but I didn't have a chance to go to.
Were you disciplined due to the fact that you didn't investigate whether she was intoxicated?
Yes, sir.
What was your discipline?
Good check to relevance, Judge.
Overruled. You can answer the question.
Yes, Your Honor. It was a 10-day suspension.
Did anyone ever investigate whether she was intoxicated?
No, not to my knowledge.
Was there another issue that came up due to that first car crash?
In regards to discipline, yes, sir.
Why were you disciplined?
2 allegations. One was attentiveness to duties, and the other one was for crash investigations.
Why are you disciplined because of crash investigations?
I had failed to inform TID of a crash involving a wrong-way driver, regardless of the injuries.
In regards to this incident, sir, were you disciplined in versus that second crash involving Mr. Castro?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yeah,
Yes.
so can we approach now?
Yes. All right, state you may proceed.
Officer Morgan. Did you ever detect any signs of intoxication from Mr. Castro?
No, sir.
Did you ever investigate into whether he could be intoxicated?
No, sir.
And was that one of the reasons why you were disciplined due to this secondary car accident?
Yes, sir.
What was the other reason why you were disciplined?
Alertness while working.
What does that mean?
Basically, I didn't have a sound and coherent mind while I was investigating
Specifically, why did they allege that?
because I failed to contact TID after calling them initially.
Now, you're standing by while Detective Martinez was talking to Mr. Castro. Did he ever admit anything while you were standing by?
I'm going to object to hearsay, Judge.
All right, to what Mr. Castro said?
Well, because it's coming, the answer to a question comes from a question and an answer that comes from a different officer, and that's where that.
All right, if you'll repeat your question.
Did Mr. Castro ever admit to anything while you were there?
Yes, sir.
What did he admit to?
He admitted to drinking beers.
Had you asked him anything about alcohol consumption leading up to that point?
No, sir.
Is that why you were disciplined?
Yes, sir.
That's the witness.
Defense, your cross.
Good afternoon, or good morning, officer.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
Doing okay, sir.
Good. My name's Gary Hillier. I don't think we've met before. Is that right?
I'm sorry?
We haven't met before.
No, sir.
My name's Gary Hillier. I am one of the attorneys that represent Mr. Castro, and I have a few questions for you.
Yes, sir.
And I take it I have your permission to ask you questions.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And I want to say before I start, there's no trick questions. If you don't understand something I'm saying, you want me to slow down, just let me know, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, officer, you say that you've got, I think it's about approximately 5 years experience with the department now, is that right?
Yes, sir. With employment.
With
Yes, sir. I've been employed with the city for over 5 years, but on the streets it's a little less.
Okay, but you've been employed by San Antonio Police Department for 5 years.
Yes, sir.
And did you have any prior law enforcement experience before that?
No, sir.
So would it be fair to say that, I guess it's 2024 now, you're in the academy at around 2019?
Yes, sir.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And at the academy, I think you spoke earlier to the prosecutor about your training. You're trained on various things at the academy, right?
Yes, sir.
One of those is report writing.
Yes, sir.
And you taught stuff about the penal code,
Yes, sir.
right? You're taught about to investigate scenes of crimes
Yes,
to a
sir.
certain extent initially, right? As a patrol officer.
Get the groundwork going. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and in this case, we're talking about investigating a crash,
Yes, sir.
right? Because you know how to investigate, get the groundwork going on an accident scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree that all facts are important.
Yes, sir.
And I guess you'd agree with me that your report writing and the accuracy of your reports are important.
They are important, but usually my reports are summaries.
Yeah, there are summaries, right? I agree, because you can't write everything verbatim because it would be hundreds of pages long.
Yes, sir.
But it's important to put things in your report that matter to the investigation,
Yes, sir.
because you rely on your reports.
I'm sorry?
You rely on your report, the accuracy of it.
Yes, sir.
Your supervisors rely on your reports.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, I guess, you know, you've spoken, the prosecutor spoke to you about it. Internal investigations, disciplinary people rely on your reports.
Yes, sir.
And today, this jury's relying on the accuracy of your reports, right?
Yes, sir. And body camera.
Yeah, because have you reviewed a copy of your report before today?
Yes, sir.
Have you got a copy in front of you now?
I do not, sir.
You don't. And you'd agree with me that it's important to write the totality of everything in your report.
I usually cover the basics, the important stuff. Yes, sir.
So you put it's important. You think in the interest, is it important for your reports to be fair?
Yes, sir.
It is, right, because that encompasses that totality. So what I mean by fair is you put evidence of innocence in there as well as guilt. Do you do that?
Yes, sir. I put everyone's statements in said reports.
But other evidence that you collect and observe, do you put that in there?
Yes, sir.
Because it's important in a case like this that you don't miss anything.
Yes, sir.
And you'd agree with me, there are policies and procedures on and your training that governs how you deal with scenes like this.
Yes, sir.
Right. And they come from the San Antonio Police Department manual,
Yes, sir. Our general manual.
the general manual. So the general manual is a public document, right?
Yes, sir.
And so I can access it, anyone can access it on the internet.
Yes, sir.
And there is a document or a general policy that discusses how to investigate a crash scene, right?
Yes, sir.
And I'm not talking about how TID do it, traffic investigations. I'm talking about for a patrol person, right?
Yes, sir.
And do you remember what the specific number is?
I couldn't give you the specific rules and the general manual number, sir.
If I were to tell you it was 707, do you have reasons to doubt me? Just can I approach very briefly?
Yes.
It sounds familiar, sir.
I'm going to show you.
And counsel, did you show the document to the state?
I will be judging in a market. Approach that.
Yes.
So I'm going to pass you the marked defense one. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Why do you recognize it?
It's part of our general manual.
Have you seen it before?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, did you get trained on this policy in the academy?
Briefly, yes, sir.
Briefly, but you recognize it. And would you kindly leaf through it for me, please, to see how many pages there are?
Five, sir.
Five, is it substantially the same as it was when you were trained on it, to your recollection?
When I was trained on it, looks like it was updated recently.
But that was the one that you were trained on, right?
2023, no, sir.
But that's the one sorry, that is the one that is in, or that's the public document that is in force that controls now, right?
Yes, sir. It's been amended since I've been trained on it.
Okay. And it's not been altered in any way, to the best of your knowledge?
To the best of my knowledge, no, sir.
Thank you. So I'm gonna leave a copy of that with you right there. Because, I mean, you've been a patrol officer for how long? 5 years?
A little over 4, sir.
A little over 4. Sorry, you've been on the department for 5, patrol for 4.
Yes, sir, since 2019 of November.
Because what I want to talk about is your experience on the streets, right? Because I think that one of the things you said that you get called to scenes, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Generally. And so you'd agree that one of your responsibilities, not just talking about that document there when you go to a scene, is to gather evidence.
Yes, sir.
And one of those, what that means is you've got to identify witnesses.
Yes, sir.
And usually procedure says that you kind of, once everyone's kept safe, keeping people safe is the first priority, right?
Yes, sir. Make sure there's no other dangers to anyone else.
Yeah, and in a normal scene, if you go into a domestic violence scene, I guess that would be different to this, but you separate the parties and keep them safe.
As best as we can with what we have.
Best as you can with what you have, exactly, because you're only human, right?
Yes, sir.
And we all make mistakes from time to time.
Yes, sir.
And like you've been very honest with the jury, you've made mistakes in this case, right?
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate your candor, officer, we do. But everything you do and you're trained to do is for a reason, right?
Yes, sir.
And separating witnesses is so that you can speak to the first witness or however many witnesses are away from the second one.
As best as we can, yes, sir.
As best that you can. Like in an ideal word, you separate the parties so you can say, hey, can you tell me what happened, please? Okay. without this person interjecting.
The defense counsel testified.
Sustained.
So you separate witnesses,
As best as we can, yes, sir.
and the reason you do that is that they don't talk to each other
Yes, sir.
and they don't infect each other's version of events.
Yes, sir.
So they don't say to each other, tell people stuff that happened to add facts into their knowledge,
Yes, sir.
so that witness one isn't influenced by something witness two says.
That'd be correct, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you'd agree that in this scene, you were here for some, how long were you at this scene?
With all parties involved, sir.
Yeah, with all, how long do you think? It was hours, right?
Total video, including the first crash, is about 7 hours.
Yes, hours and hours. So you were there for a long time. So you weren't the only officer there.
No, sir.
There were several officers there,
Yes, sir.
and everyone's got the same training.
Yes, sir.
There's a point I'm trying to make here is that you're trying to separate witnesses, but it's difficult.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes witnesses in a scene like this, they're walking around, they're talking to each other.
Yes, sir.
So it might not surprise you that that a witness might say something at the beginning when you speak to them. They give you a version of events at the beginning, and then hours later, when they've been talking to other witnesses and other officers, they might add things in.
It's a possibility, yes, sir.
Because that's what happened here, right?
I wouldn't know, sir.
But do you remember Mr. Castro, when you first spoke to him, he said some things about what happened, and then later on he said, well, the officer told me that it was a woman. I didn't know that before. Do you remember that bit?
I don't remember that, sir.
We can talk about that in a second. But I want to talk to you about your first involvement in this case. You told the prosecutor that you were called to your original call was for a wrong-way driver.
It was for a major accident involving a wrong-way driver, yes, sir.
And do you know who Shayna Alassal is?
She was the wrong-way driver.
She was a wrong-way driver. And do you remember speaking to her?
Yes, sir.
Now, you spent a short amount of time with Miss Alassal. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
But when you made your way to the scene, you had to drive through backed up traffic, correct?
I had to walk back, yes, sir.
So there you go. So you had to drive to the scene. We'll look at the body camera in a minute. You drove you drove to the scene as far as you could, but you were driving, is it Northam 281?
Yes, sir.
So you made your way, you were the first officer to respond, is that right?
We were all pretty much in close proximity of each other when we were arriving.
So dispatch, a call comes in and dispatch calls local officers and then they go, is that how it works?
Correct. They sent Officer Rodriguez and Officer Lechuga first, but since it was my square, I got off my break to go handle the call.
So, all right then, so it was your square. So by your square, you talk about your patrol square?
Yes, sir, for the night.
Yeah, your district where you are assigned that square of territory, that's your space for the night to patrol.
It's not my specific space, but that's the one where I'm usually the primary officer. I still can respond to anywhere in the north side, and if there's a critical incident, we can go anywhere in the city.
Right, so of course, but that's you're the primary for that area. So you're the first one to get there.
Roughly, yes, sir.
Roughly. I mean, it was Officer Lechuga and Rodriguez.
Yes, sir. They were right
They're
behind me.
kind of behind you. They arrived soon after.
Yes, sir.
Right. But was that State's Exhibit? Can we? Can we, Judge? Can I look at States too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I want to do is I'm trying to, we've got some technical difficulties there. I want to try and get, this is your body camera, right?
Yes, sir.
It's been admitted into evidence of states. So this is, have you got your camera on you today?
No, sir. It's charging at the station.
Right, so you don't have to wear it to court, but you have it on your body and it's recorded when you have an interaction with the public, right?
If it's the same one that we had back then, yes, sir, because we've recently got new ones.
But it records, it's on your body and it records everything that's happening.
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to see is we're going to see you've arrived at the scene.
Oh.
Right.
From the map, it kind of looks like it, but it looks like I'm still on the way.
I'm sorry, so I'm not in control of this, but so, right, okay, this is you arriving at the scene, fair enough?
Yes, sir.
So you're, can you pause it now? So you've been called to a major accident where a person was a wrong way driver, your testimony, driving up the access road onto 281.
Main lane, sir.
Onto what, sorry?
I was driving on the main lanes and it forces everyone onto the access road.
Right, mainland?
Main lanes. I apologize. The freeway. Yes, sir.
So, but she's coming, if we can see the screen at the top there, the top right hand corner, this is kind of 281 traveling north, right?
Yes, sir.
And so what we're seeing now is the traffic. You've parked, you can't take your vehicle any further, right?
No, sir.
Because although we can't see it, the traffic here is kind of 2 lanes, but it's going to go down to 1, right?
Further down, yes, sir.
Further down, right? And then it goes from 2 lanes, which it is here, you can see on the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
And then it's going to go into 1, right?
Yes, sir.
And then that 1 is going to go off the exit ramp.
Yes, sir.
And that's where the wrong way driver has come up and had a collision.
Correct. They came from the
Right.
access road.
Sorry.
They came from the access road.
They came from the access road, obviously the wrong way on the access road, come the wrong way up the access of the exit ramp, right? They're driving the wrong way on the highway, right, okay. So this is where, at this point, you parked your vehicle at the back of the traffic that's backed up.
Yes, sir.
Correct? And if we see the top right hand corner of you see the yellow triangle, it's really weird doing it, I'm sorry, officer. There's a time up there, there's a timestamp. You'd agree with me on that, right?
Yes, sir.
It says axon body 3, then there's an X and some numbers, and above it, there's the date, right?
Yes, sir.
2022, 7/22, and 0156, it's written in military timing, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that basically tells us what time it is. So you're arriving there at 1:56 AM and 9 seconds, I think.
Yes, sir.
Right, okay. And so this is as far as the traffic's up. So now, so what we're going to look at here is we're going to see you, if you bear with us, you're walking down now through several vehicles that are already piled up, right? The traffic is piled up. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
I mean, and that's as close as you can get in your car, right?
Yes, sir. At least from where we came from.
Yeah, and so because now here we see that the traffic is trying to go over to 2 lanes, and the traffic is already backed up, and you see reverse lights. People are moving their vehicles, right? They can't go anywhere, but you are approaching the accident scene for the first scene.
Yes, sir.
You said you were the handling officer
Yes, sir. Initially.
initially. So what does the handling officer mean? Officer? What does it mean to be the handling officer?
Basically the one that's going to be writing the report.
So because you're first on scene or because it's your square?
Either or.
Oh, right, so it doesn't matter. So it would be fair to say you get there first and you speak to Mr. Lassell,
Yes, sir.
and then your other colleagues come and help you.
Yes, sir.
We might see them come and help you in a second. So you make an initial assessment of her, right?
Yes, sir.
And I believe I was kind of unsure with the testimony earlier. Did you speak to Mr. Lassell?
Yes, sir.
Did you spend much time with her?
Not much time, sir. No.
So your interaction with her was kind of brief, right?
Yes, sir.
And they're not trick questions, officer. And you'd agree with me that the people who really spent time with her were officers who agreed as an officer with you.
Yes, sir.
Because we're gonna. You keep what I'm saying, what we're seeing here is how many vehicles already you have to walk past to go down to this scene, the first scene, the wrong way driver.
Yes, sir.
Have you counted how many vehicles it is?
No, sir.
How far do you think it was?
Maybe around 200 meters.
200 meters worth of vehicles end on end.
Yes, sir.
So this video still shows you walking down there. Because what does the policy tell you? What does your training tell you that you should be thinking about right now when you're approaching a major accident?
Trying to figure out where the crash is.
Right. Okay. So you obviously have to, because you said this came in as a major accident.
Yes, sir.
One of the things you're supposed to do is call TID anyway, regardless of the casualties, right?
Yes, sir.
So you said that one of the things you're supposed to be thinking about is identifying where it is.
Yes, sir.
And then what does the policy tell you? What does your training tell you about once you've identified the scene, what you're supposed to do then?
Speak to witnesses and try to clear up the roadway.
And here we are, we've identified. So speak to witnesses and try and clear up the roadway. And like we talked about witnesses, you identify them. I guess you deal with casualties as best you can.
Yes, sir.
And I'm talking about this one first that's on the screen.
Yes, sir.
This is that's Miss Alassal's car,
Yes, sir.
driven the wrong way up the access ramp.
Yes, sir.
Right. So your first priority is to see if there's any casualties.
Yes, sir.
And this is according to that policy that you've identified, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you said, did you say something about clearing up the roadway?
As best as we can. Yes, sir.
And I guess by that you mean that can mean a lot of things, right? That can mean clearing up debris off the road.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because there might be damaged bits of car that you've got to get out of the road that are going to cause damage.
It depends on the kind of crash that we have.
It depends on the kind of crash. And you'd agree with me that clearing up the roadway means providing notice to other drivers, right?
As best as we can. Yes, sir.
As best you can. And in fact, that policy says that's the first priority, right?
I believe so, sir.
Well, according to your training, I mean, review it if you want. You can please take a look. Can I approach Judge?
Yes.
You do. No, it's just no, I don't need to, Judge. We've got the same. He's already got a copy. So, also have a look at the first. I'm going to approach. Sorry, Judge. It might be easier. The bottom paragraph, responding to crashes. I've got color. I'm sorry, I've got the color copy right. Take a look at paragraph 4.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll read paragraph 4 then.
Yes, sir.
Because the policy is it's the guidelines and training for dealing with accidents, right? Yep.
I'm sorry, sir.
The policy's it's designed, it's what you're given in the academy. Like I said, it's a public document.
Yes, sir.
It's designed to help you investigate, a guide for investigating accidents.
Yes, sir.
And you agree that when it says responding to crashes, the first officer arriving at the scene is you, right?
Yes, sir.
So the first officer's responsibilities are to warn of the crash to approaching vehicles.
Yes, sir.
As best you can, right? Because you're a human being.
Yes, sir.
But you'd agree with me that that's what that policy says. The first officer responding, their job is to warn other motorists.
Yes, sir.
As best they can. What ways do you, and we've seen them, the prosecutor showed you the video earlier, and we said, what do we see now that we don't see? What ways have you got at your disposal to warn other motorists of accidents?
We have our red and blues. We have our directional arrows, and then we also have flares.
So when you say your red and blues, what you're saying to the jury is you're talking about the emergency lights that go on top of the cars.
Yes, sir.
Right, and all patrol vehicles have them.
On top, most of them.
Most, I mean, maybe some don't, right? But most cars on patrol have. So there are other vehicles coming to your scene, right, with emergency lights, the red and blues.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And there's flares.
Yes, sir.
And do you have flares on board your vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Is it standard issue for people to have flares?
Yes, sir.
You know, patrol officers.
Yes, sir.
That's the standard kit in every vehicle. And what else do you have that you can put on?
A reflective vest.
Reflective, is that what they call a reflective vest? And what is the point of that?
To ensure that we're on the roadway, and if we get hit, city will cover us.
Yeah, okay, it probably is it, right? So that the city will cover you if you're insured if you get hit. But you'd agree with me, it's also to warn people because they're reflective, and if lights hit them, it kind of says police and stuff, right? That's the other ways to warn, right?
Yes, so that there's a pedestrian there.
Yeah, and this isn't a criticism, but you'd agree with me that you went to that scene, you're the first one there, but no one ever did anything to warn the vehicles behind you.
We had our red and blues on.
You had your red and blues on. But let's go back over very briefly, have a look at that body camera again. Can we, Dan? You had your red and blues on. So do you remember what time this call came in? It doesn't matter if you don't know roughly.
The first crash,
The first crash,
155.
1:55. So it's taking you a minute to get there. It's 1:56 now, is that right?
Yes, sir.
So it's taking you 1 minute to get there. If you're gonna get out your car, this is from 1 minute, right? You've got your red and blue flashes on. You're the first one responding. So your priority is to go to the scene.
Yes, sir.
And your priority is to make sure no one's injured at that first scene right now.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we can see the build up in 1 minute. I didn't count them, but you've gone through 200 meters worth of traffic.
Yes, sir.
So for every minute, I mean, I'm not asking you to commit to this, but for every minute that you spend at that first accident, what's going on behind you? Because what road are you on there?
The exit ramp from Marshall Road,
But what highway is that?
281.
It's a highway,
Yes, sir.
right? And there's people traveling on it.
Yes, sir.
So for every minute you spend at that accident, what's happening behind you?
Traffic's building up.
Traffic's building up. It's building up every minute. So you've got this call came at 1:55, at 1:56, there's 200. I think that makes a point there. So in 1 minute, just to your estimation, because you were there, there's 200 meters worth of traffic built up.
Yes, sir.
I'm not asking you to do any math. I'm not going to ask you to do any math. I'm bad at math, right? But you'd agree with me. You were it was around 2:20 when the second incident happened,
Yes, sir.
right? And that's around 23 minutes after you first got there,
Yes, sir.
right? And so you arrived on scene at the first accident within a minute, and there was 200 meters worth of traffic.
Yes, sir.
Right. So after 23 minutes on scene, what was going on behind your car?
The second crash happened
But where did it happen?
further southwest.
Further south. How approximately how further south?
I would say maybe 200 meters. I'm not an expert.
Probably a bit more than that, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, probably quite a bit more than 200 meters off the right.
Yes, I didn't measure whenever I went there.
Yeah, because you had to walk and then you could run. We'll have a look on the video in a minute, but it was quite a distance.
Yes, sir.
Right. And I know that what you wrote in your report and that you noted in your report that you noted in you have a copy of your report in front of you?
Not with me right now,
You
sir. No,
reviewed
sir.
it today?
I haven't reviewed it today, sir.
Yeah.
My report.
No, I'm just going to get a clean
No,
copy.
I have a report.
Excuse me, everyone, this is what I want everybody to do. Court reporter cannot hear. Everybody needs to stop whispering. Everybody needs to speak up so the court reporter can hear and so that the jury can hear. So ask your question.
Sorry, Judge, I can't remember what I was going to say.
Do you have your report?
Not with me, Your Honor.
He does not have his report with him.
Would it help if you had a look at it
Yes, sir.
to refresh your memory? I'm just going to shut that. Right. Recognize that.
Yes, sir.
Is that your report? Is that your report? Sorry, I've got to speak up.
Yes, sir.
All right. So we're looking at this front page here has got some like biographical data on the top, time, place, and where this happened.
The approximate location, yes, sir.
Yeah, and the bottom part. And I'm sorry to reach over you. The bottom bit's called the narrative.
Yes, sir.
Right, like you said earlier, this is a summary of what's going on
Yes, sir.
because you can't write everything.
Yes, sir.
But these are your main thoughts and recollection. Did you write this when this incident was fresh in your mind?
Yes, sir.
And did you write this before you go off duty that day?
Yes, sir.
And is that your policy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And it details, I want to draw your attention to page 2 if you'll turn over. There's a second paragraph. Right. I want you to read that and then look up. That's the second one. Yeah. And can you have a look at the third paragraph, the last couple of sentences of the third?
Counsel, you want to mark that so that the record can be clear?
Just mark it as defense two. Let me go get a sticker. I'm not going to enter it, Judge.
I understand.
We'll mark that document as defense two. Yeah, just draw your attention to page two and I'll go sit down there. So you agree that your perceptions of this incident, by the time you went to the second crash with Miss Siebert, there was a lot of traffic lined up on the highway.
Yes, sir.
Now you would agree with me that nobody from SAPD went to the back of the traffic to try and close the road at that point.
After the first crash or the second crash?
Well, after the first crash, your vehicle was there
Yes, sir.
with your red and blue flashes on, right?
Yes, sir.
What do you call them? Not red and blue flashes, what they call
Emergency lights?
emergency lights. You had your emergency lights on, but then you have walked 200 meters down to the scene with Miss Alassel.
Yes, sir. I wasn't aware exactly where the crash happened.
No, and I'm not saying you should be, but you've gone and located it and you've seen that there were no casualties and you've spoken to the drivers very briefly,
Yes, sir.
right? But then your colleagues come and you leave her, Miss Alassel, and the other parties to deal with that while you go and start writing your report.
That and to make sure everyone had valid licenses.
Yeah, and you're doing your investigation, right? And that's what you're supposed to be doing. But then you go and sit in your car and you're in your car for 20 minutes and nobody from the San Antonio Police Department thinks, hey, hold on a minute. You've been sitting here for 20 minutes. Let's warn the drivers behind you because traffic's backing up.
Testifying.
Sustained.
But let's look at the video. Let's look at your body cam.
All right, let's pause here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you all your lunch break. We're going to come back at 1:30 and we're going to continue with testimony. Remember my instructions. Do not think about this case outside of this courtroom. Do not do any investigation. Do not view anything. Do not talk to each other. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Well, when I say do not talk to each other, I mean about the case. All right. All right. If you can meet us, please, and we can go off record. There are many